crap. Look how many people are on here. This is insane. Okay. Hey, it is Tuesday. I think we're going to start doing team calls on Tuesdays. Some Sundays, depending on who we get to speak. But this is going to be a super short call. The one thing I want to say is Fruit Punch Energize launches next week, and you best believe I'm going to be ordering that ASAP. So that is one announcement I have for you guys. We'll go over our Success Club board because it is literally like gold right now. Of course it's not on here. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm currently at Success Club 18. Okay, first off, Success Club, every person you help is 2 points on the board. So I'm at 18 points, which means I've helped 9 people this month start on their health and fitness journey. We have Miranda Lovelace at 4, Cassie Brody at 4, Jennifer Adams at 2, Kayla Claridge at 2, Julia Verrett at 2. Miranda is our top volume producer for like the 3rd week in a row, which is insane. And then Samira is on lit status because literally she is spitting fire every day on her Instagram, like smashing objections, just getting people out of their head on her Instagram. She adds so much value to them. She goes live, she shows her shake, she shows her meals, like it is just awesome. So she is lit this week. Okay. Tonight we have Megan Jones, and honestly, Megan, I just look back to see when Kate announced you as a new coach, and I think we literally started the same week. It was the end of March, and Megan and I started coaching about the same time last year, end of March. She is currently in 1-star diamond qualification. She's a full-time 4th grade teacher, and she's a dog mom and wife. So she is just going to spit some fire, honestly, to us right now. So I hope you guys have your notebooks out, and this will be a shorter call. We're not going to go until 9 my time, but just get ready. So Megan, you got it, dude.
Thanks, Megan. Yeah, seriously, I do think we signed up the same coach sneak peek batch. There were just a whole bunch of us. So it's so fun to I feel like we're sisters in this. So it's so fun to be here and just see your team and how big this is for you guys. And I am just so eager to share my heart with you. This is something that I have talked to my team about a lot. And I was just talking to my husband, I feel like this is something that I'm so passionate about because it's something that I pursue every day. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of consistency in your business. And I call this general subject an apple a day because the phrase goes, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And unfortunately, that phrase doesn't go 52 apples in the first week of the year keeps the doctor away for the rest of the year. And just like with our health and fitness, there's so much to be said about the importance of consistency in our business and in the way that we show up intentionally for ourselves. So I looked up this definition early on, and there are 2 definitions to the word consistency. The first is adhering to the same course or track, which is honestly the definition that I've always thought of when I think of consistency. It's that piece of, all right, I'm going down this path and I'm sticking to it. I'm not veering, I'm not distracted, I'm on this path. And then I think that this is interesting because the alternative definition for consistency is retaining form or firmness. And it's that concept of when you talk about the consistency of soup or the consistency of Jell-O. And I think as coaches, it's so important that we're consistent and that we're applying both definitions of consistency. So we're staying on our path and we're not being distracted and we're deeply rooted and focused on where we're going, but also we're firm in our belief and in our understanding of what we're doing and why. So I know that that's just barely an introduction, but I hope that you'll see as we talk how passionate I am about this subject and just the way that it looks in this business. So you'll hear me talk a lot about how this business is exactly like our health and fitness journey. So I'm going to keep going back and forth to that. And I want to start by saying I'm sure as coaches, you've had challengers who literally come to you and they're like, I haven't lost weight and I did 3 workouts today and 2 yesterday. Like, what the heck? Your program doesn't work. Or like, I've been drinking my shakes for a whole week and I even had 2 yesterday. Like, why am I not getting results? And it's just this concept of like, you can't do all of this activity all at once and expect immediate results. Consistency is about showing up in the long term in the same way over and over and over and being willing to wait for the results. In our health and fitness, we know it just takes 20-minute workouts, right? That's not a big, crazy effort, but you have to do it every day. You can't do 6 in one day and be good for the week. You have to do it every single day and spread it out, and then it's going to show up. And after 6 weeks of these workouts, you're going to have these amazing results. And that's ultimately what this business is like. So it's this concept of, if you're not being intentional with your time, it's easy to make excuses and miss your business hours. It's easy to get off track and skip a week worth of a certain business activity, and before you know it, you're back at square one. So I really encourage my coaches to focus in on setting goals around the things that they can track, and around the things that they have specific control over. So I personally get incredibly frustrated by Success Club because sometimes I'm like, I'm putting in all of this freaking work, and sometimes the Success Club board shows that, and other times I'm like, this isn't doing it justice. And I wish that there was a way to celebrate the consistent hours that I'm putting in that wasn't tied to a number that other people are in control of. And that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. But I truly encourage my coaches to celebrate success as showing up for their business every day consistently. Like, that's when you should be celebrating. If you accidentally sign 6 people up one week because you just got lucky and you hit the jackpot, that should mean way less than if you sign one girl up and change her life because you've been consistently showing up for her and talking to her for weeks, right? That's completely a different game. And that's what we're here to do. We're not here to just walk into a sale. We're here to invest and show up in people's lives so that we can build trust with them. So I encourage my coaches to identify business building activities. It's that concept of, what is moving my business forward and what isn't. 2 hours spent making a cute graphic is awesome, not helping your business move forward, right? Color coordinating your planner, super helpful, really, really good productive strategy, not helping move your business forward. Okay, taking 15 hours to come up with a perfect caption and hashtag, not moving your business forward, people. It's, you know what it is. Invites, follow-ups, sharing your story authentically on social media, even if it's not in a perfect filtered way, okay? And when you narrow your business activities down to 4 or 5 items that you know are non-negotiables, you're going to be able to show up for your business in a completely different way because you're going to just have that built into your routine. So for me, for example, I wake up at 4:15 every morning. I'm a teacher and I leave the house at 7. Now, most people are like, what the heck are you doing in all that time? Like, just sleep in more. I know that I have to get my workout in before work, no matter what. I'll be a terrible teacher, terrible human being if that workout does not happen first thing in my day. So I wake up and I bust that out. Now, that is built into my routine. That's a non-negotiable. If for some reason I was to skip that workout in the morning, you better believe you're going to see it in the afternoon because I do not mess around about that, right? Just like if I wake up late and I'm running late to work, it's not like I'm going to skip brushing my teeth. I'm going to put my deodorant on. Like, those are non-negotiables. It's just going to happen, right? So with this business, it's the same thing. I wake up at 4:15, I do my workout. After that, I have exactly 55 minutes built into my morning to bust out my 5 essential activities. And I'm telling you, it's doable. I do it every day. And of course, I work more hours in the evening when I can, but this way I know that the essentials are taken care of. And if some emergency came up in my day, if something happens, my dog eats my whole office, for example, on a Tuesday, then I can tend to that and I don't have to feel like I'm disappointing myself and letting myself down. I'm able to say, yes, I took care of myself. We can worry about the rest of the world now. So do it daily. Like truly and truly and truly figure out what you have to do and do it daily. Be realistic and do it daily. Someone, and I wish I knew who said this quote, it literally could have been Megan. I don't know. I heard it on a team call sometime and I wrote it down and that's all. But it's this concept that change is inevitable and growth is intentional. So think about a plant, which I am terrible at keeping plants alive or anything alive. If I have a plant on my table and I just set it there and I walk away, that plant is going to die over time, right? It's changing, but it's dying. And I can't stop it because I have chosen to walk away from it, right? Now, if I set that plant down and I water it once, whenever I remember, whenever I think about it, whenever I feel about it, sure, it might stay alive for a little bit longer, but it doesn't have the nutrients and the support that it needs. It's eventually still going to die. If I show up and water that plant every day and I am, fertilizing it, I'm doing my personal development and I'm trying to pour my energy and attention to that plant, it's not taking a lot of time, but that plant is going to get what it needs and it's going to flourish and thrive. So it's that concept of that plant is going to grow or die regardless. It's your choice what is going to happen. And that plant is absolutely your business. And you have to see it that way, because if you even walk away from this for 1 week, you're going to be playing catch up and trying to just frantically help this to come back to life, right? So one thing that I really would say to busy people, and I would imagine that some of you are probably teachers if you are on Megan's team, but if you are a really busy person and you are letting busy get in the way of your business, I want you to step back and I want you to think about what you would say to a challenger who is saying they're too busy for a workout. Because if I have a challenger who tells me they're too busy for a workout, I say, okay, you deserve to take 20 minutes for yourself. You have to make this a priority until it becomes a habit. And it's the same for you. Your business deserves to have 20 minutes of your time or 50 minutes of your time. And you have to make it a priority until it becomes a habit. And there's just it takes grit. There's no way around it, but you have to do it. And you're going to thank yourself later. The last piece of this that I really get fired up about is this concept that consistency. I was just telling my husband, I always get asked to speak on consistency and how I show up every day and what that looks like. But I always swear that consistency is also my biggest weakness. It's by far my biggest strength, definitely my biggest weakness. And I say that because you guys all know Kate and you've seen her business, and in no way has it been consistent because her business has been like that, right? Skyrocketing. Now, I have had some very personal experiences, and this one story stands out in my mind. So in high school, I ran track and field, and I was through and through a 2-mile track runner. That sounds like torture now, but 8 laps around the track, that was my jam. I loved it. So I would show up for my race, and most people were running a 100 meters, so a fourth of the track, and I was ready to run 8 laps around, and I was getting so excited, and I would work so hard in practice. And when you're racing 8 laps, you're definitely running more than that in practice. So with the distance races on a track, the big piece is consistency and timing and even splits. So my coach really emphasized, if this is your goal time to finish at, we're going to reverse engineer that and figure out exactly the amount of time it needs to take you to get around 1 lap. So I figured that out, and it was okay, I have 1 minute 36 seconds to get around each lap. So when you do that math and you break it down, then my OCD self would run endless and endless and endless laps until my body knew no different than to run exactly that pace no matter what. So my favorite night of my whole track career, I actually ended up in a 2-mile race that was run at night. So they had the big football field lights on, and I was so stoked. So we take off and we're running, and on a track you see everybody, you can't escape the crowd. They're all watching you. I see my coach writing down the stupid splits on his clipboard, he's timing things, and that's so stressful. And I crossed the finish line, and I realized that had been my best time ever. And I was so thrilled to finally PR. It had been a hard season, and I had worked really hard for that. So I run over to my coach, and I was so excited. I was like, did you see that? Like, how awesome. And he's like, check this out. And he shows me my clipboard, and every lap out of the 8 was within 1 second of each other. I had literally run splits that were identical. And in track and field, like, I wasn't allowed to have a watch. I wasn't allowed to do anything but just feel my body and know where I was on that track. I was so proud of those splits. And I remember unlacing my spikes and putting on my joggers. And as I was walking to the car in the parking lot, my heart sank. I literally felt sick to my stomach because I realized that I could no longer celebrate my personal record because physically I'd run the fastest I'd ever run, but mentally I hadn't. Mentally, I had run the exact same race I had done in practice forever. It was just a normal practice day for me. And when I started to think about it, I was heartbroken by the fact that in being so focused on running the race consistently, I had become complacent, and I had forgotten to put my heart and soul on the line and to give it a dead sprint in that last 100. And now in this business, obviously there's not a dead sprint to the finish, but there is a dead sprint every day. You need to show up consistently for your business, but if you take the heart out of it, it's not going to take you anywhere, and you're not going to have anything to be proud of. If you run as hard as you can and you show up for your business every day when you cross that finish line, you're going to feel so proud because you're going to know that not only did you show up, but you did it with heart. And then that's when your business is going to explode. So I would encourage you, when I talk to my coaches about this, I kind of gave them homework, and I'm a teacher, so I'm going to give you homework and send this to Megan, and I'm sure that she'll help you out with whatever. But I would encourage you to think about something that you already do consistently in this business. So if that means that you're like, yeah, I am awesome at posting every day on social media, or yeah, I consistently send 25 invites, or yeah, I consistently hit Success Club 5. Whatever it is, think of one thing that you are freaking consistent at, like already right now today. I'm going to give you like 5 seconds. Okay, and now I want you to think about how you can make that one skill, one thing, one business practice that you are incredibly consistent at, how you can take that and turn it into your consistent sprint. How can you make that one thing your powerhouse where you pour in any extra energy, and now instead of hitting Success Club 5, you're going to crush Success Club 10 and make that your new consistency. Instead of sending 25 invites, you're going to send 50. I want you to level up your consistency and train your body, since we literally can train our brains and our hearts to do whatever. Train yourself to be consistent at another level and see what happens. So that's what I've got for you. Does anybody have questions, or if you want to share? I don't know.
Yeah, you guys can drop questions in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Whatever. That was super legit.
That was literally fire, Megan.
Yeah.
What the crap? That was so good.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Yeah, that was so good. I think, so like the part where you're talking about like Success Club is so frustrating because you're putting all this work in, a lot of my coaches are feeling that right now. And it's hard because it's like there's no board like with numbers on how many workouts you did or like how many shakes you drank, and it's just like that one board that we always see. And that I feel like I always got caught up on it when I first started because I wanted my name up there. And so I would do all the things and then it wouldn't happen. And honestly, it wasn't like an option for me to like stop. It was the weirdest thing. I just like kept doing it. And so then that's where it compounds. But yeah, I just really we need to celebrate those little successes, even if they're not marked on a board. Like you got your workout in, like that's freaking legit. Like be proud of that. You did send your invites. Like those are things we should be proud of ourselves for too. Sometimes I feel like I want to see what's going to happen in the end if I do the work. rather than it being the other way. So I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what am I going to get if I send these invites? Sometimes that's kind of my mindset. It's like, well, how much money am I going to get? Or like,
I was listening to the Rise podcast with Rachel Hollis, and she had John C. Maxwell on there.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. Sorry.
So legit, right?
Yes.
I've listened to it twice already. Like, I'm probably going to listen to it a third time. Yeah, everybody go listen to that. But he was talking about how when you graduate high school, like, everybody flies out and they throw you a big party and they're so happy and they're so excited, and you're like, yeah, I did it. And you're celebrating the fact that you finished high school, but no one was there throwing you a party when you finished studying for that really hardcore test, right? Or no one was there celebrating you when you when you passed that algebra class that you had to retake, or whatever it was. And it's that concept of like, you're really in this world, you get recognized when you hit that benchmark. But you should know that you deserve celebrating every time you do your best every day, because that's where the progress happens. Like, you didn't do all of the work to graduate high school on the day of the celebration. You did it for 4 years leading up.
I literally wrote that. I was going to talk about that.
Yes.
It's so good. It's so true. It's like, when you graduate college, it's like no one's there to celebrate you for going to class another day,
But I wish they were. That would have been helpful.
Right? Okay. Well, yeah, that was like leveling up, even for me. Like, I needed this. Like, let's freaking level up. Like, there's a couple things that I'm pretty consistent in, but like, let's run with this.
Yeah.
So, all right. That was awesome. Let's take a selfie. So unmute your cam, people. Unmute. I don't even know what I'm talking about. All right. 3, 2, 1. Guys, thank you so much for making this priority. And it's freaking Tuesday. Like, let's run the rest of the week. So you guys are awesome. Megan, thank you again.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Have an awesome, what is it, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Feels like Thursday. All right.